Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of our show, Pop Culture, where we try and attack the different topics that are surrounding us in our culture these days, and we try and kind of dissect them and see how we can discuss them. Today, our show will be on materialism. So we went downtown Toronto and we asked some of the people what they thought. Let's have a look. How would we discuss materialism and the growing trend in our society? Why do you think that is?
I think that's another reason because people give too much value to material things.
People view materialism in many different ways. To me, materialism is somebody who likes materialistic things, expensive things. And it does have a big influence only because of the social media that we are so involved in.
I think we create a lot of the infrastructure that we complain about.
The media, man. The media. That's it. Our generation is totally different. It's just all shoved in our face. Close this, buy this, trend this. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, all Snapchat. It's just in our faces. We have no other choice but to accept it. That's it.
That's just the way the media portrays things. Like a lot of the big time rappers, the big time celebrities. You see them with their flashy suits, the watches, the cars.
Advertisements, probably. They sort of seem to dominate our culture. So everyone's influenced by advertisement. Everyone thinks they need the newest.
I think it's like the richer the people get, there's more chance of having that thing.
Because we're moving away from finding our inner peace. Because like downtown, you look everywhere. You're constantly bombarded with advertisements, right? And with people in advertisements that look happy. So you think, okay, well maybe if I get this, I'll look like this person. Or maybe if I get this, I'll look. And it's hard, man. We live in a city with like, I don't know how many people there are, but there's a lot of people here.
How can we kind of resist the movement for all materialism?
Look more towards the spiritual and less towards the material.
Don't make your free time shopping. Don't go to a mall just because it's a weekend.
I think just coming back to the basics, coming back to what's important.
Don't look at materialistic things in order for yourself to feel good, you know? Don't feel good just because you have a lot of money, because you have the watches, the cars, everything, you know. That doesn't make you a better person.
Not worrying about what other people think of you, I guess.
Finding things that you like to do for yourself.
Being with your friends is definitely a lot more.
Just stay close to loved ones, I feel. That's how I can resist from a lot of temptations.
You don't have to protect yourself from materialism. You can make it work for you as long as you don't go overboard. It's controlling your own limits and knowing what you're able to purchase and what is good for your own economy.
I don't know.
I don't know the solution, man. I don't know the solution. Just ignore social media.
I'm sorry, but I'm not the right person to say because I'm really materialistic.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us today to discuss materialism. We have our very own Dr. John Ibrahim, avid youth servant dedicated at the Church of St. Mark's in Toronto, Canada. John, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. That's a big introduction.
Thank you so much. So we're discussing materialism, and as you saw, we went downtown, we asked some people, what's with the rising trend? And everybody, it's the things that they want to have, maybe they don't need. Why are we seeing this, so happening so often these days?
To be honest, I think it's just in our culture nowadays, everything's all about me, what I want, iPhone, I this, I that. So there's a big focus on it. You know, it's important when it comes from marketing and sales and all that we feed into this culture. So I think that's why it's we've become so materialistic, because we have a big focus on ourselves and what we want to buy and what we want to have and what we could have and what we don't have and everything like that. And so I think that's why it's such a big deal right now.
Excellent. Now, if we want some practical tips,
yes,
and we want to focus on what we need as opposed to what we want. I guess what we want is an increasing list these days. How can we kind of focus and identify the important things in my life?
Well, we first got to know that, from the famous verse from the book of Timothy is, for love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, right? So we just got to have that in the back of our minds so that we don't get caught up in this materialistic world. Also, in the book of Hebrews, it says, be content, okay, in what we have. So I think really to not fall into this trap of wanting this and the latest that is just being content, trying to achieve, trying to be thankful, I guess, for what we have, trying to be, count our blessings. Like I have the iPhone, and I just updated it. Now there's a newer iPhone, and then with the newer iPhone, you got when you buy it, they update it, and now you got to buy the newer iPhone, and then it just doesn't stop, right? And the more that we keep our eye on what we don't have and not look to what we do have, I think that's one very easy way to combat it. Unfortunately, everybody's telling us what we don't have and what we should have and what we could have. So it's kind of tough, but we just gotta keep that verse in our mind, and
Excellent.
think about that.
Excellent. Now, as Christians, we are always invited and taught to cleanse the inside of the cup, and as opposed to spend our energy and time decorating the outside and acquiring and looking so good. How can, in today's world, how can we advise our youth and ourselves to kind of persevere towards that a little bit?
In cleansing the inside of the cup,
focusing on that.
Well, honestly,
more and more.
the verse, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So honestly, we could say whatever we want and try to appear like we're good and everything, but unless we're good from the inside, I think it'll all be clear over time. So we really got to work on our spiritual life, keeping with our Bible readings, and just being, like, I'm not trying to say like make this like a Sunday school answer type of thing, but it really is important to have that communication with God, to pray, to read our Bibles, and look for support from our friends. I think it's very practical. We have our youth groups at church, and we could share things with each other, and we could help each other grow. And I think if we just focus first on the inside and take time out of our day, which is hard, but you take time out of your day and you work on yourself.
Excellent. Excellent. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, some practical lessons. Help us overcome the obstacle of materialism and to actually focus on the inside and our spiritual lives, and everything else will become less and less significant. We thank you, Dr. John Ibrahim, for joining us.
You're very welcome.
In your prayers. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.